In this tutorial, you will learn how to clean, shape, and prepare data using Power Query Editor, a powerful data transformation tool built into Power BI. So what we are going to learn? So how to remove unwanted rows and columns, replace values, formatting, split columns, merge columns, apply filters, change data types, and rename headers, load clean data into Power BI for reporting. Hi, I'm Sharat Chandra from Data Analytics and BI. Welcome back to my channel. What are you waiting for? Let's get started. So this is Power BI Desktop. So let us get the data from the Excel workbook. So click on Excel and click on the data transformation file that we are going to use to clean the data. So when we connected towards the, the Excel, so we have different types of tables and sheets available in the Excel. So now let us click on the fill. So when we click on the sheet, we can see the data, the preview of the data here. So if you want to pull the data into Power BI Desktop or Power Query Editor, we need to click on the checkbox. Click on the checkbox and select all the sheets whichever are required for the data transformation. So let me click all the sheets and the data is provided in the link description. So let me click on the transform data. When we click on the transform data, we will be redirected towards Power Query Editor, which is used for data cleaning, data manipulation, data changes, and data transformation based on the requirement and the project that we get. So this is Power Query Editor. So let me give you a small overview about Power Query Editor. On the left side, we have the queries. So the data or the sheets or the tables that we pulled into Power BI Desktop. When we come into Power Query Editor, those tables are called as queries in Power Query Editor. And in the middle, in the center, we can see the data in the table format. On the right side, we have the query settings. Whatever the changes that we make to the table, those changes will appear as the step in the applied steps. And in the transform, we have different types of transformation techniques. Add column if you want to use the conditional column and add the column, another column by using conditional column, custom columns, and column from examples, and view. So by default, the query settings, formula bar, and white space are enabled. If I turn this off, the query setting will be disabled. If I turn this on, the query settings will be enabled. And formula bar, this formula bar, whatever the query, whatever the functions, whatever the code that we are seeing in this formula bar, this is called as M language or mashup language, M query or mashup query. So here, if you see, there is no need to worry about these functions and the code over here. So we have all the options available. We can just click on the options and make changes to the data. And I can also turn this off and on. And the column quality, let me click on the column quality and see what we are going to get. When I clicked on the column quality, I can see the quality of the column. So how many of them are valid? So do we have any errors? And do we have any empty? So if you see, when I'm hovering over this section, so we have in the top 5 cities column, so we have the valid are 3, which is less than 1%, based on the columns and the rows available. 0% are errors, and 996 records are empty. And I can also see the number of columns on the bottom left side. So 20 columns and 999 rows. And the column profiling based on the top 1,000 rows. And if I click on the column distribution, I can see the distribution of the column in the bars. So same thing. So I can see how many of them are distinct and how many of them are unique. So out of 999 records that we have, 4 are distinct and 3 are unique. So if you see, country, cities, population, and nulls are 4 distinct, and unique country, cities, population are unique. If I click on column profile, we will get some statistical calculations over here. So let me click on another table or another data. So if I go through the employee salary, and we can see the count of records are 11, errors are zeros, empties, 0 empties, and distinct 5 distinct, unique 2 are unique, and 0 there are 0 zeros, and the minimum value is 40,000, maximum is 80,000, average is 65454 standard deviation, and there are even 11 are even. We do not have any odd numbers in this column. So this is what the column profile. And advanced editor, we can see the query. It starts with let and ends with in. So this is advanced editor code. There is no need to worry about it. What do we have in here? This is the source that we have pulled the data from Excel. Excel.workbook is the function name. CSV.document is another function. So Excel.workbook, we can get the data from the Excel. So what is the next step? And we are trying to get the column. The kind sheet and the item is reduce columns. I mean, what kind of a sheet? The sheet name is reduce columns. And automated step, it promoted headers, and it is also automated step. It changed the type. So this is advanced editor. And now let us go through the transformation techniques that we have. The first and foremost transformation technique that we look into is manage columns. So we have two options available in the manage columns, two transformation techniques, that is choose column and remove columns. So before directly jumping into the choose column and remove column, so what I would like to do here is I would like to create the group so that I can group all the transformation techniques in a different way so that I can easily find out what kind of a group it deals with. So right click in the queries, and we have an option called as new group. Click on the new group and write manage columns. Manage columns. In the description, mention choose columns and remove columns and click on OK. I have created manage column. When I hover over it, I can see the description, that is choose columns and remove columns. And now what do? I right click. I would like to move reduce columns into manage columns. Right click on the reduce column. We have an option called as move to group. Click on manage columns. So click on reduce columns. So first of all, we need to observe the pattern of the data when we deal with any data or table that we get, that we pull the data from different sources. Now, if I observe here, we have employee ID, employee name, location, column 4 is empty, nulls, employee salary, the ratings, employee date of joining, column 8 is empty, is active, whether the employee is working in the organization or not, and what is the department he belongs to, the designation of the employee. And from column 12 till these AS, the columns are empty. So what do we need to do? Click on the choose column, and the first option is go to column. For example, there are 50 or hundreds of columns available, and I know the column name. I want to see what column, what kind of a data does that column contain. So I can type the column name and I can go through that column. So if I click on AS and click on OK, then that column will be highlighted. That is go to column. And the first option is choose column. And what is the definition that we have got? Keep or remove columns from this table. Click on this. And we do not want all the columns to be selected. Employee ID, employee name, location, employee salary, rating, date of joining is active, department and designation. So these are the valid columns that are used for our further analysis. Let me click on OK. So this is the manage columns, that is choose columns. This is first way. Okay, this is choose column. So I would like to rename this as choose column. There are two ways to do that. I can double click and write choose columns. This is the first way. And the next one is remove columns and remove other columns. So if I want to apply the same changes, so let me right click and click on the duplicate option. So we have got the duplicated table of choose column or the query of choose column. Now let me rename here. The second way is select that in the name under the properties. And now let me write remove columns and click on enter. Let me remove this, remove other columns. And one more thing to remember, there is no undo option. Control Z option available, Control Z option available. So we can't get into the previous position or previous stage once we make the changes to the data. Be careful when you try to edit or change anything in the table. So I have deleted the step. So now what do? I will select the column. Or if I do not want to, if I want to remove the column 4, so I can go to remove column and click on remove columns. This means remove columns means whatever the columns that we selected, that columns will be deleted. So remove columns. Now you see, when I remove the columns, I have got the step removed columns. Whatever the changes that we do, those changes will appear as the step in the applied step. Again, the same thing, remove columns. And let me scroll right side. So column 12. So I can also get these options by right clicking on the column. So you see, I right clicked and I've got the column, the option remove. And let me select all these columns, shift and select, right click, or I can click on the remove column, click on remove columns. So whatever the selected columns that we have, those columns are removed. This is the first option. I can remove this. And the second option is, the second way is remove other columns. Okay. So whatever the columns that we would like to remove, so we can remove that. First, the columns that we want to retain, we need to select the columns. So employee ID, shift and select, shift and select. And I do not want to select the column 4, control and select, control select, control select, employee date of joining, again control select, department designation. And what do? I click on remove columns and click on remove other columns. So whatever the unselected columns that we have, those columns will be removed. So this is choose column and remove columns.